impish side of me is really reluctant to say a lot of nice things about him. After all, I've known him for a very long time. And this I know about him. He's prepared. He's frank. He is experienced locally and connected in Annapolis. He has lived his life around the number one most important issue we confront in terms of education, not just by virtue of his scholarship or his foundation or his devotion to putting capable teachers into the most challenging schools, but because this man has lived the experience with his children in our school system. So he don't need a white coat. He's been very strategic in all the years I have known him. And I'm pleased that even through the turbulence of this election, with all of the exaggerations and distortions, he has stayed on course. He's been sharp and direct about where we need to go. And he works with people of all varieties to make sure it can happen. Because the other thing about change is this, and transition is this. If you don't make it relevant to the lives of everybody, you haven't done your job. So in our communities that have not enjoyed the glitter and the highlight of a national harbor, we need a man like this that can bring jobs and opportunity to those communities as well. I personally am reassured that Rushern's course is charted by history and involvement and not by fantasy and white papers. This is a man who has lived it, he's worked it, he's made tough decisions about it. He's candid enough to evaluate where we are. He doesn't rebuke the region we compete in by saying we don't care what you think. Certainly we care what you think, because what you think determines what you'll invest. Right. And so if you are working with somebody who understands that that is our principal challenge in terms of this regional and national competition, then you're somebody I want on my side as I want Rushern on my side, and I want to be on his side. And today, because he has proven that he cares about all of us, because he has proven that he can reach out and not in, because he has proven that he'll do what he says and says what he means. He is a man who has earned my most unqualified support. And in all the communities where I've lived, and I've lived in a bunch of them in Prince George's County, from childhood to now, this is the man that I know can reach across this chasm and turn this ship around. We got work to do. It's important work to do. And this is the man that can do it. And for that reason, ladies and gentlemen, I am giving all of my enthusiastic support to Rushern Baker to be the next county executive.
Talk about bringing back memories. But that's indicative of the leadership that we've had between those two individuals and the teams that they've assembled to take us forward. I did want to mention, before I bring up the county executive, a former county executive of Howard County, Ken Ullman, is here with us today. He worked very closely with Executive Baker. And last but not least, the guy that's helped to put all of this together, and it's his team who has helped to provide the message that has advanced Prince George's County. I've always said it's one of the toughest jobs in this administration, the Director of Communications, Barry Hudson. Barry, where are you? Folks, I want you to stand up, because I think this person that we're going to bring up to the stage to tell us where our county is where our economy is, deserves a standing ovation for what he has done. And when I talk about him, I get emotional because there aren't many people you work with in a lifetime that you know are so dedicated to a cause that irrespective of whether they stumble from time to time, and even when they achieve greatness, you know that it comes right out of the heart. You know they care about that jurisdiction. I felt that about Wayne Curry in all the years I'd known him, and I'd known him for a long, long time. Well, Wayne and Rushern should have been brothers because in many respects, they have the same traits. Rushern is just a little smoother around the edges, Sheila, but both of those individuals have brought so much to our county, and to work with Rushern has been a pleasure because he's a person of integrity. He took this county when it was at its low, and he brought it back, and he did it with grace and dignity. And all of the information, all of the data that we've compiled about what he's accomplished doesn't compare one iota when you look at what he has done as a father, as a husband, what he has done for the family. He has shown us how to deal with adversity, and in that adversity, to find greatness. And there is no doubt in my mind as we go forward into the future that he's going to bring that same greatness to anything that he does. Please stand up and help me welcome and say goodbye in terms of this event, but not to the future, to our county executive, Rushern Baker.
Please. Please. Thank you. Thank you. You know, please sit. No. Please. I have one of my daughters here. They'll think something important is going on if you keep standing. Please sit down. First of all, I should thank Jim for giving me enough time to recuperate from watching the endorsement of Wayne Curry. You know what? I'm not even going to go there. I'll never get through this speech, and you'll never get out of here. I should warn you in advance, if you have somewhere to go, tough luck. It's my last one. I'm going to speak as long as I want. I know 2 people will be here and a table right here. My daughter and son can't go anywhere, and I know this table won't. But let me do this. Let me thank Bill Von Haney and Pepco Exelon for being the chief sponsor here. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, Barry. And Miss Maria Tilden, CareFirst, have been our partner from the very beginning of the administration. Give them a round of applause. And if you know me and you've heard me speak before, I tell you, you can tell when it's a really important event. 2 of my daughters show up. If it's just an important event, one of my daughters shows up. And I'm always pleased to have them with me. And we have our oldest daughter, Asia Baker, right here. And people say, well, why don't you say that about your son? I said, because he's required to show up to every place I go. But I have our son, our oldest child, Rushern L. Baker IV. And some really nice artwork out there. Just saying. Let me do this before we really get too long. You know, Sheila Curry, can you stand up one more time? Not only for doing a great job of providing this event here and the work that you've done, but all the work and help that you've given this administration. I think we have all of our meetings here now. This is a great place, and we see Sheila. Thank you for everything you've done. And thank you to the hotel and your staff. Please, I want to thank you guys. This is great for us. And give them a round of applause. So, good morning. It is a great day in Prince George's County. There you go, Barry. I put it in. I have been saying probably as long as I have been county executive that in order for Prince George's County to be the best, that we had to believe that the county is the economic engine of the Washington region, and I dare say the state of Maryland. So I want to thank the incredible work of the folks who tell that story. First of all, to Mr. Jim Estep and the Business Roundtable for their great work and his leadership. You know, Wayne liked to say, Jim and I are the people who voted with our feet. That meant that they stayed in Prince George's County and continued the great work, and he's doing that. So thank you. Certainly I want to thank Mr. Jim Coleman and the Economic Development Corporation. Believe it or not, he's actually a lot calmer than he was in college. So that's the tame version you guys are watching. But thank you and your staff. Can we give them a round of applause? And certainly, last but not least, it's the residents of Prince George's County, and it's you in this room, the business leaders who invested in this county. Give yourselves a round of applause. Well, tally ho. This is it. My last State of the Economy speech. For 7 years, I've stood before a podium and talked to you about the future of Prince George's County, the insights, the thoughts, the visions regarding the direction of our county's economy. As I reflect on those initial speeches, I remember the long road that it took us to get here. A road we traveled together, the obstacles that we had to overcome, the situations that we had to grapple with. And yes, as Danielle said, the tough decisions that we had to make. There were people who started this journey with us who we have lost along the way. There were close friends and advisors, supporters who helped us get here. And although they are no longer with us here today to bask in the accomplishments that we have made, they remain in our thoughts and in our hearts. Before I got up here, you saw an individual who has meant a lot to me in my growth. And on important occasions, I wear a tie that Sheila gave me that belonged to him. Much like the ring I wear that is my dad's, and the watch that I wear that is my grandfather's. It reminds me of my responsibility and commitment to the people who poured a lot in me. And Wayne Curry poured a lot in me and yelled at me a lot. Another individual whose hotel we sit in, whose presence shaped my being from a young delegate to county executive, who also yelled at me, kind of, think about it. I don't know if it's a theme. Who sent me emails at 4 a.m. and wondered why I answered back. Whose vision made this hotel and made this county better. Suzanne and David Hillman have not only been partners in shaping Prince George's County with me, they have been friends of mine. And I wouldn't be standing here as county executive had David Hillman not believed in me when nobody else did. So can we give them a round of applause? So 7 years ago, we developed a long-term economic strategy that was derived from our vision for our county. This vision would guide our budgetary planning process as well as our economic approach to jobs and growing the economy. We created a roadmap that would take us ultimately where we wanted to go as a county, to revive our economy, but also to diversify our revenue streams. As part of our vision, we created some strategic priorities that have guided us from the very beginning. And you've heard them a lot, and I'll say them for the last time as your county executive at this speech. A thriving economy, an excellent education system, safe neighborhoods, quality health care, effective human services, clean and sustainable environment, and a high-performance government. With these priorities and the assets that Prince George's County had at its disposal, we are the second largest jurisdiction in this great state. We had underdeveloped metro stops. We were close neighborhoods to Washington, D.C., or as Wayne liked to say, Rome. Only place you can print money legally. An educated and affluent population. We had a great foundation. So despite the challenges we face a mere 7 years ago, foreclosure rates sky high, unemployment high, overdependency on residential property taxes, high incidence of crime, low property values, limited commercial development. I stand here today proud of the work that we have done and the investments that we have made to spur this economy. It started with the vision that I laid out, and we didn't let any of the challenges and obstacles deter us from making this county great. Our county's regional and national stature has risen. Our economy is thriving. Publications like the Washington Business Journal now frequently report on people and projects in Prince George's County. In fact, the Washington Business Journal recently announced the 25 top projects in the Washington region. 25. Nearly a quarter of those projects are taking place right here in Prince George's County. Just last week, I got an email from Scott Peterson, which I didn't read, but Glenda Wilson made me read it. And when I did, I was very pleased. It was the Washingtonian magazine, and it talked about the 15 booming areas in the Washington area. And guess what? Hyattsville, College Park, and the new Derek Leon Davis, downtown Largo, anchored by the Wayne Keith Curry Administration Building and Hospital because of Prince George's County. Why, you might ask? Because it is Prince George's County that taught me and gave me a chance at leadership. It's Prince George's County where I learned that building stronger communities makes a stronger county. It is here because of you in Prince George's County that allowed me to prove, and this proved, as an incredible ground for demonstrating leadership. The responsibility of leading a major jurisdiction is like running a relay race. It is a succession of leaders who are each handed a baton from their predecessor. Each leader is expected to run as fast as they can and make as much progress as they can until it's their turn to pass the baton. Very soon, I will be passing the baton to the next county executive. That person will be expected to run as fast as they can and carry this county forward. Yes, as you've heard tonight, we have accomplished a great deal in this county. We have come a long way, Madam Chair. And yes, this is a better place than it was a mere 7 years ago. But there is more to do in this great county. And whoever is on the county council and leads and gives this address next year will need each of you to help them at the next leg of this race as you have helped me. We need to continue our development around our transit-oriented development around it. Did I get it? David, I'm going to get it right. It's my last one. Transit-oriented development. It took David a while to get me and Barry Stead and those folks to get me to know what that is. But just think about it. We focus on 5 metro stations in the Baker administration. 5. And we're proud of the work we're doing around there. That leaves 10 here, not to mention the metro stations that will come around the Purple Line. Talk about exciting. I am so excited about the things that will happen. We need you to help us grow our healthcare economy and networks that will bring in primary care providers and world-class services to our residents. We need your help to help the next person to attract businesses for more retail and entertainment so that we're not number 3, we're number 1 in doing visitations here in the county. We need you to continue to invest and support our schools so that every child in this county gets a great education. And we need you to help attract new residents and new businesses. This county has a bright future. I've tried to work very hard to improve the quality of life for the residents of the county that gave me a chance to stand before you. I want to leave that as my legacy. As I close, I can't help remember and think about what it was like when I first took over and the rating agencies, Thomas Himmler, were kind enough to extend to me an invitation to address them at my earliest convenience. I.e., we are nervous that you have not run anything larger than a 18-person nonprofit and your county is in trouble. So we are thinking about stripping your AAA bond rating as a welcoming present for you. And a very nervous, can't sleep county executive with black hair got on the train as some really smart people tried to explain a $3 billion to $4 billion budget to him. And I can't help but remember sitting across from those individuals. I tell my children, you know, if you watch Game of Thrones, it's like going to the Iron Bank. You know, they just look at you. And I'm nervous, and I'm shaking. I'm like, please don't take away the AAA bond rating. Please don't do that to me. And I told them about the wishes and dreams and hopes. The wishes and dreams and hopes. The wishes and dreams and hopes that I have for this county. And they stared at me like, wishes, dreams, hopes don't pay bills. I knew something they didn't know. I knew two things. I knew you, and I knew me. And I knew that if we worked together, wishes, dreams, hopes turn into reality. Today in this great county, it is a wish, it is a dream, and it was a hope that made us #1 in job creation. It was a wish, it was a dream, it was a hope that made $8 billion worth of development happening at once. It was a wish, and it was a dream, and it was a hope that when we got on that train to go back up to New York for the last time as your county executive, they couldn't wait to say, oh, we are so proud of Prince George's County. And not only is your economy great, but you diversified it. Oh my God. Who knew? We knew. I knew. And so, for the last time as your county executive, I say the state of the economy of Prince George's County is sound. God bless you, and thank you for coming.
Let's have another round of applause for a fantastic job for 8 years, County Executive Rushern L. Baker. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out today. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to the hotel, and God bless all of you.
Was in there. Historic economic development is attracting attention all over. And more importantly, because economic development sounds like a word. And as a word, it really has no particular meaning to anybody in the room except for this. This is what that word means. 20,600 brand new jobs in Prince George's County since 2013. More families able to buy homes, to rent apartments, to have health care. 3.4% increase in the number of jobs we've created in this county since last year. Our branding and marketing efforts have made us #3 in the state in travel and tourism tax revenues generated, just behind Anne Arundel County and Montgomery County. And what I say to those counties is, watch out. We're right on you. Our communities and our neighborhoods are safer. Overall crime has been significantly reduced by 50% over the last 7 years. 50%. In fact, our homicide rates, which we saw under 100 last year, we had 80 homicides, which are too many. But today, knock on some wood, we are down in violent crime and homicides in the county by 32% as I stand here talking to you today. In November, as our council chair said, we broke ground on the brand-new University of Maryland Capital Regional Medical Center. And if you watched the news last night, they talked about the redevelopment of the Laurel Hospital. Neil, can you stand up, please? Neil. Where's Neil? Did he go? President of our system. His hard work has made this possible. The Purple Line we broke ground on, and we'll be doing development around there. The United States Citizen and Immigration and Service Headquarters at Branch Avenue, one of our metro stations, will provide more jobs here. And yes, Karen Toes, for the last time as your county executive in a State of the Economy speech, my favorite project, the new Suitland Town Center. We are number one in job creation in the state of Maryland, 5 quarters in a row. Now, I have to tell you that my favorite part about that is we don't make the numbers up. The state has to give them to me. Y'all will get that later. Adam Ortiz, we are number 1 in recycling and waste diversion, thanks to the creation of our Department of the Environment. Thank you, Director Ortiz. And we have a state-of-the-art, nationally recognized stormwater management program that outshines anyone. We've increased our funding of our education system since 2011 by 28%. Our one and only signature project of this administration has been, there's not a list of initiatives, there's only one. From the beginning of the administration, it has been our Transforming Neighborhoods Initiative, or T&I, which is nationally recognized as an innovative approach to empowering neighborhoods. Throughout my administration, our commitment has been to keep our money in the county. And to do that, what we've been able to do and work with are our minority and county-based businesses by contracting with them to the tune of over $600 million to those businesses. A unique program, and Tom, just so you know, Jim did say yes. A unique program that we are doing in the county for the first time is working with Jim and O-Line Bank and a local headquartered bank here in the county, an industrial bank, an MBE located bank, working together in partnership to provide the county with $34 million of funds to acquire equipment over the next 4 years. That way we keep the money here. As you probably know, and we've talked about it a lot, our economic development strategy was investing in ourselves because, quite frankly, what we said at the very beginning of the administration, if we don't believe in ourselves, why would anybody else? You have to have skin in the game. And yes, Danielle was correct in having those council members stand up and take a bow, because the development of the Economic Development Incentive Fund, which took $50 million at the height of the recession and said, guess what, we believe in us. And we want the business community to know that. And yes, David Iannucci, we wanted it to have a wow factor. And it did. Because those funds and that risk that we took 7 years ago, when we launched this program, we took $36 million of county money in investments, and we were able to generate over $1 billion of private money. $36 million of county investment for over $1 billion of private investment. Now, Kerry Watson, I will take that any day. If you can give me those odds at MGM, that is a great rate of return. But we not only invested in big companies, we invested in big and small. Places, companies like Susan Gage Catering in Hyattsville, Thompson Creek Windows, and yes, Safeway's Distribution Center, where we kept jobs in Prince George's County. By using the EDI fund, we have been able to create or retain over 12,000 jobs in Prince George's County. It has also allowed us to generate activities in places like College Park, which is becoming the center of innovation. And the university is retaining a lot of those businesses right here in Maryland and right here in Prince George's County. The use of the EDI fund has allowed us in New Carrollton to invest in companies like 2U, which is a digital education company. Over the next few years, they will create somewhere around 2,000 jobs right here in Prince George's County. It has allowed us in Greenbelt to invest in companies in the science and technology firms that will work with NASA Goddard. The EDI fund helped us bring 2 minority hotels, actually 2 minority hotels, one located in Largo and near Camp Springs. This is an example of the innovation that these companies are bringing and the excitement to the county. But as our economy grows, we also have to invest in our education. Those of you who know me know that education is a priority for me. It started before I was county executive, before I was a delegate. It started when I was a child, and a teacher invested in me and got me to see how important it was to embrace education, and it changed my life. And since I was 17 years old, I have been trying to repay that teacher back and my parents for believing in a child that didn't believe in himself. Education is important. Now, we all know there's been a lot of talk about Prince George's County schools these days. In fact, I believe the governor talked about it, although it's a talk that occurred during an election year. Candidates for county executive talk about it. Council members talk about it. Everyone's talking about education. In fact, one of my first speeches I gave before this very audience was entitled, "Education is Everyone's Business." I said it then and I will say it now. Our education system is our calling card. It is how people measure whether, in fact, you're going to be around for the long haul. If we don't understand that we have to work together to improve it, we will lose our economic advantage. I fought for the changes in Annapolis to our education system because what I was trying to do was to create an environment where educators could effectively do what they do. I know there were some who say it looked like a power grab. And I've often asked myself, well, why would the legislature give us the authority to do that, to change the governance structure? So let me just read you a quote from the Washington Post, written by Ovita Wiggins, entitled, "Prince George's County School Enrollment Slides." Prince George's County public schools have lost more students over the past 8 years than any other Washington suburban system, averaging an enrollment decline of more than 1,000 students a year. More than 1,000 students a year. That's from an article that was written March 19th, 2012. That is one of the reasons that we asked for the change and that it was granted. We have to eradicate this culture in the county of using our education system as a billy club in a political season. This culture is not only hurting our children, it hinders our ability to attract the best leadership for our school system and the best teachers. We will not be able to keep this economy running at full throttle if we continue to pour water in the tank. That is what we're doing every time, every single time, that we don't work together to improve our public education. Do we have challenges? Heck yeah. Are we making progress? Absolutely. Our enrollment since 2012 has gone from 125,000 students in our school system to 132,000 students in our system. Since 2012, we have opened 2 international high schools in Prince George's County for our immigrant students who are coming here. Since 2012, we have created the Transforming Neighborhoods at Our Schools initiative, where we provide some of our most challenging schools with the wraparound services that they need from our social services and our counseling. Since that article, our middle college program, which is a model throughout the state, is providing our kids with not only a high school diploma, but an AA degree, so their parents pay for 2 years of college in the health science, and we just opened one to do it for education. Our 3D Scholars Program, our P-TECH program, has created opportunities for our children to be more college and career ready. We expanded the career and technology education offering our students. We built 21st century schools like the new Fairmont Heights, Oxon Hill High School, Accokeet Academy, Glen Arden Woods. Students have more access in Prince George's County today for language immersion programs so they will be competitive with the wider world than they've ever had. And we have the largest arts integration program, 73 schools, the largest in the state. That is the envy of people around the state. And most important, since this gets a lot of talk, the total salaries increased for our teachers from fiscal year 2013 through fiscal year 2019 totals $144 million toward their salaries. The county has increased the best of the best teachers coming here, which are nationally board certified teachers. We've increased our total of nationally board certified teachers to 379 nationally board certified teachers, making us the third largest jurisdiction in the state that have teachers who are considered the best of the best. We have made tremendous strides. There is no question we have tremendous challenges. And it's very easy when you're trying to take a system from the bottom and move it to the top to criticize when you shake that up and all of the dirt comes out. But in order, as the old folks used to, my mom used to tell me, when you're beating that rug to clean it, a lot of dirt comes out. But guess what? Once you finish, it is a clean rug. A lot of stuff comes out, and it's easy for people to criticize. If I was in another forum, I would say we didn't take a system that was number 1 in the country and change it to number 5 in the country. You'll get that later, too. Just to close out on that. I was in Frederick County yesterday talking to some folks, and they were gushing about all the stuff going on in Prince George's County and said, "We really like you, Mr. Baker." I said, "Well, thank you very much." She said, "You know, those schools, why don't you just divorce yourself from that issue?" Clearly, they don't know me, and they're getting to know me. I said to her, she said, "Well, maybe you're just stubborn." Can you believe she said that, Glenda Wilson? Y'all know me. Do I look like a stubborn person? Asia Boo. I said, "I am my father's child." The reason I ran for the House of Delegates, the reason I ran for county executive, was to give everything I have in me to make sure everybody, especially in our public school system, gets the same opportunities that I got. Not because they were born to 2 parents that loved them very much and undergirded them, but by right. And I said, yes, I am stubborn. And I'll be stubborn in the next job to make sure it happens. Thank you. So, I often tell the story about how I first went to Annapolis when I was county executive at the very beginning of the administration, and I proudly proclaimed that Prince George's County was the economic engine of the Washington region, and I dare say the state of Maryland. And people clapped politely because nothing was happening here. And they said, "Oh, he's so cute." Because as you saw, I had hair. I truly believed it. I could see that we were going to get there. But I have to be honest with you. I had no idea that we would get here this fast. I not only did not do it alone, the bulk of the work was done by some very talented people willing to give up their time, their private life, and their treasures, and dedicate it not to a county executive, but to a county. And if I could, and I know it's been long, could I have everyone who works for Prince George's County, especially at this table, just stand up and let's give them a round of applause, because they are the men and women who made it happen. And give yourselves a round of applause for believing us, because you made it happen. So when people talk about your county, tell them, you're talking about me. You made it happen. You invested here. You live here. So as I said or hinted to, I'm running for governor. And it's interesting, as I travel around the state these days, I always get the question, why are you running for governor? And well, those of you who know me, and it's probably frightening right now, because I got a story for everything. And it's usually a long story. But as I look back over the 7 years that I've been county executive, and I see the lives that we've changed here in Prince George's County. And I've watched our county become a player in economic development, in the environment, in healthcare, the regional landscape in the Washington area and the state. And I see the people who are moving into the county and the businesses that are coming here. And I really want to answer them and tell them that the reason I'm running for governor is because of Prince George's County. Why, you might ask? Because it is Prince George's County that taught me and gave me a chance at leadership. It's Prince George's County where I learned that building stronger communities makes a stronger county. It is here because of you in Prince George's County that allowed me to prove, and this proved, as an incredible ground for demonstrating leadership. The responsibility of leading a major jurisdiction is like running a relay race. It is a succession of leaders who are each handed a baton from their predecessor. Each leader is expected to run as fast as they can and make as much progress as they can until it's their turn to pass the baton. Very soon, I will be passing the baton to the next county executive. That person will be expected to run as fast as they can and carry this county forward. Yes, as you've heard tonight, we have accomplished a great deal in this county. We have come a long way, Madam Chair. And yes, this is a better place than it was a mere 7 years ago. But there is more to do in this great county. And whoever is on the county council and leads and gives this address next year will need each of you to help them at the next leg of this race as you have helped me. We need to continue our development around our transit-oriented development around did I get it? David, I'm going to get it right. It's my last one. Transit-oriented development. It took David a while to get me and Barry Stead and those folks to get me to know what that is. But just think about it. We focus on 5 metro stations in the Baker administration, 5. And we're proud of the work we're doing around there. That leaves 10 here, not to mention the metro stations that will come around the Purple Line. Talk about exciting. I am so excited about the things that will happen. We need you to help us grow our healthcare economy and networks that will bring in primary care providers and world-class services to our residents. We need your help to help the next person to attract businesses for more retail and entertainment so that we're not number 3, we're number 1 in doing visitations here in the county. We need you to continue to invest and support our schools so that every child in this county gets a great education. And we need you to help attract new residents and new businesses. This county has a bright future. I've tried to work very hard to improve the quality of life for the residents of the county that gave me a chance to stand before you. I want to leave that as my legacy. As I close, I can't help remember and think about what it was like when I first took over and the rating agencies, Thomas Himmler, were kind enough to extend to me an invitation to address them at my earliest convenience. i.e., we are nervous that you have not run anything larger than a 18-person nonprofit, and your county is in trouble. So we are thinking about stripping your AAA bond rating as a welcoming present for you. And a very nervous, can't sleep, county executive with black hair got on the train as some really smart people tried to explain a $3 billion to $4 billion budget to him. And I can't help but remember sitting across from those individuals. I tell my children, you know, if you watch Game of Thrones, it's like going to the Iron Bank. You know, they just look at you. And I'm nervous, and I'm shaking, I'm like, please don't take away the AAA bond rating. Please don't do that to me. And I told them about the wishes and dreams and hopes. The wishes and dreams and hopes. The wishes and dreams and hopes that I have for this county. And they stared at me like, wishes, dreams, hopes don't pay bills. I knew something they didn't know. I knew two things. I knew you, and I knew me. And I knew that if we worked together, wishes, dreams, hopes turn into reality. Today in this great county, it is a wish, it is a dream, and it was a hope that made us #1 in job creation. It was a wish, it was a dream, it was a hope that made $8 billion worth of development happening at once. It was a wish, and it was a dream, and it was a hope that when we got on that train to go back up to New York for the last time as your county executive, they couldn't wait to say, oh, we are so proud of Prince George's County. And not only is your economy great, but you diversified it. Oh my God. Who knew? We knew. I knew. And so for the last time as your county executive, I say the state of the economy of Prince George's County is sound. God bless you, and thank you for coming.